First, how's Garth doing?
Yeah, we're constantly communicating. He's some days are harder than others, but yesterday he said was a pretty good day.
Okay.
So yeah, we're supporting him. We're communicating with him things that are going on here, and a lot of it is just like giving the information. But yeah, we're with him every day. Everyone is here. At the All-Star game, a lot of people came up, asking questions, how he's doing. So it shows how many people care about him. But yeah, he's fighting through it, and Garth's a tough guy.
Mm-hmm. So how is this working with this transfer window? Are you having to get permission from him for moves, or are you kind of on your own in this regard with the budget and the spending? And like if somebody offered for a DP, would you have to call Garth, or how is this working?
Yeah, like I said, Garth and I communicate all
Okay.
the time. Also with Demetrius, Director of Strategy or Vice President of Strategy, Jonathan Spector as well. We're all in constant communication. So we do have plans. We work with Arjun, our data analyst, obviously Ronnie, the coach. So I would say it's by committee, and Garth he's along with us each
Okay.
step of the way. Yeah.
Garth had said a few weeks ago, trying to strengthen the spine. You've signed one center back. There are rumors of another center back, rumors of a central midfielder. Is that the goal in this window, to strengthen the middle of the team?
Yeah, I mean the rumors have been out there. I don't want to comment on something until it's confirmed. Like when we make an announcement, then we'll all know. And there's a lot of things that can happen in deals in the last minute that could throw it off. But yeah, I think we focused coming into this window. We wanted to improve the team. We feel like we need to do some things to support our DPs, and that is some of the build around them. I think improving our defense, and I say it as attacking and defending is the whole team. It isn't a particular line. It's the whole team attacking and defending. But we need to improve our defending. I think that's put us in negative positions in some games. So we are addressing that. Ine is out here training.
Mm-hmm.
It's great to have him in the team, and we're looking forward to other additions that happen in the next few weeks.
And is the whole team defense the primary reason y'all are in the position you're in the table right now?
I think, yeah. I mean, I think it comes down to not just one thing. It is the players, it's the coaches, it's front office. We are all in this together, win or lose. And I don't think it's one thing you can point as that's our problem. But it is what we are addressing first, is trying to improve from the back, get some stability. But there's a lot of different pieces we need to work on, and that goes every day there in the training field. It goes what's happening behind the scenes as we start to build. And from the beginning, when I came in here, we brought in our two DPs, made an impact, spent a lot of money on those players, but we wanted to evaluate the rest of the group. And I think that evaluation has come, and we're looking at this window, looking at the next windows. How can we improve our team to be a competitive team to compete for championships? And those are step-by-step things, and I think I've been consistent with that. It's going to take some time.
And you have roster. I'm sorry, Sam. You have roster slots available, but are you having to sell to buy? Do you have the GAM to buy players? Or are you going to have to unload to create those funds?
Yeah, I think it's going to go both ways. As we bring players, we have to move players as well. So those come into it. Depends on what the deal is. There's, we have Johnny's injury. We can have a replacement for him on like-for-like salary. So there's some moves we can make that work with the cap, and then there's other moves we have to make to open up space to improve the team.
Chris, I don't want this question to sound accusatory. I just want to understand a little more. The one constant over the last few years has been the scouting department. Here, there hasn't been a lot of change with that. Will the scouting department continue to be the same as it is? And if so, why?
Yeah, I mean, coming into the as chief soccer officer, I have to look at every department on the soccer side and evaluate that. So just as we were evaluating our players and our team, the same is happening inside the club and every department. We are all responsible for our part that we play in in the failures and success of the team. So, that's an ongoing process. There's things that I have done at other clubs that I feel have worked. So could we add to what we have here? I think there's a possibility we could add to that and try and improve. We're always looking to learn, grow, and improve, and I think those are things you have to constantly do as an organization to stay up with the league, and changes have happened really quickly in Major League Soccer, and teams are improving every single window. So we need to make sure we're leading that and being at a pace where we can compete with the best teams in the league.
So any changes would be additional? Is this kind of what I'm hearing there?
It could be a combination of, what we
Okay.
need to add to improve what we have. Obviously, we got to take budgets into all that, but I would say you're on.
Y'all have publicly affirmed that Ronnie will most likely be back next year.
Yep.
What traits has this team shown that make you think that he's the right person for this job?
Yeah, I think all of it goes into where we're at right now. As I said, it isn't on one person. It's on a whole group of people, whether we succeed or we're having issues. So, we support Ronnie. I think, we need to make sure that we are improving the roster and we are getting the right pieces in place. We had a period here of evaluating the team, and look, we're disappointed where we're at right now. We don't want to be in the standings where we're at, and we need to figure ways to move up the table and compete. And we're going to compete every single game until the end of this season, and then look to be a much better team next year. So all of this goes into how we can support the staff we have. Ronnie and I have been very close on working on things we need to tweak, things we need to improve.
So we can expect maybe changes in the game model potentially next year?
Yeah, I think as you bring in new players, it's going to have a different look. So I think some of that comes into who we have to work with, which strengths that we have inside the team, and how they complement each other.
Chris, how do you strike the balance between, data and analytics are such a huge part in recruitment now. How do you strike the balance between that and the individual characteristics like personality to find the right players?
Yeah, great question. And I think, data analytics is something that we will continue to work with really closely throughout the whole process. I think Arjun leads a great department there. And I think that's where sports are going. But at the same time, you have the balance. As you mentioned, you have your scouts who are out there. They're meeting with teammates, they're meeting with the players, meeting with agents. You have to get a feeling whether this player is going to be a good fit for the roster we have and complement the players we have. So there's a lot that goes into a player signing, and there's probably 12 people involved in every signing, at least every signing, whether it has to do with visas or technical, tactical, how the player is going to adjust with his family in a new country. So there's a lot that goes into it, and I think data will be a part of everything we do.
Chris, Jose Persopi with Latin College. Chris, how important is the academy for what you're trying to build up here in Atlanta?
The academy's it's vitally important for the future of this club, and I think we might lead the league in the number of academy teams we have at this club. And, you look at the success, and Javier Perez is running that right now, and he's director of methodology. He's doing a great job with our academy, and we have a great academy staff. But the success of our academy teams has been really good this year. And, people at the league, other academy leaders are talking about how much talent is here in Georgia. So we're happy with some of the groups that are coming through. Are they ready for the first team? Not yet, but they will be, and there'll be a good generation coming through. And I think you'll probably see that in the next years as our second team gets younger, and we have some younger players playing professional.
And what do you see in a young player for them to move up to the first team?
I think that Ronnie's been really good at giving these guys opportunities to train with the first team. We have teenagers out there every single day. Cooper Sanchez is an example, Dom Chankwi. I think the experience they're getting daily, and Dom played in some games early this year, so getting first team experience for them is going to be so important. And then also what they can do at their own age when they come down, can they be leaders? So it's a combination of when you move a player up, getting that experience, but keeping his confidence, and then moving him down and building him up as a leader. So it's a real balance, and we have Dennis Silva, who's our new IDP coach, who's been at FC Barcelona, and I think his focus primarily will be how can we get these top talents ready for the pros, and he's kind of the connector between the two.
Okay, one last one. How much is Ronnie involved in this new hirings that you will do for Atlanta?
Yeah, I mean, Ronnie and I we talk several times a day, so everything that we're doing as a club, he's on board with, and the conversations are ongoing. So I think he'll be quite involved, and I think anything that he feels will help him and support him and his coaching staff to get the team improved. He's on board.
I've got a few. Well, go ahead, Henry.
You talked about the importance of the academy. I'm just curious, what do you see the role of the homegrown players being going forward?
Yeah, I think the homegrown players are only going to grow league-wide. I think that we need to continue to invest in youth development and players coming through in this area. I think there's a really good pool of players that could come in and eventually make it to the first team. So I think making sure that we do everything we can to, one, scout and recognize those players in our area, then get them into our academy and work with them and do everything we can to make sure the player pathway is clear for them. And I think that goes into signing players. When we look at what positions we're going to add, we have to look, is this going to block a future academy player at this position? And if that is 2 years out, okay, maybe you sign someone in a shorter term that's going to fill that gap until that player is ready to play on the first team.
And when you're talking about not trying to block like the academy pathway for some of these players, or the first team pathway, I should say, are there any of the homegrown players now that you see that have the characteristics that you're looking for players in the first team?
Yeah, there's a lot of them. I mean, we saw, I'll just point one out, Luke Brennan in the last game. Luke has played well enough to break in and get his opportunity. We saw times with Noah Cobb or Ephraim Morales got their opportunity. They each, played well enough to get in there. Whether it's through injury or training every day, the opportunities come in different ways.
Just a few more. Go ahead, Henry.
You talked about potentially seeing the second team get younger. With Steve Cook departing, is this all suggesting some changes happening to the second team, the philosophy of the second team?
I think the plan was just to give us some time as these top academy kids start to age through the academy system when they are ready to play for the second team. So that will be coming next year. There'll be some more that are moving in, some younger players, and I think the following year there'll be some more younger players. So I do think that's something each year as those players come up, we're going to give them opportunities to compete.
How important is it for the second team too to have that balance between some of those academy players who are seeping through, but also having some of those players like Javier Armas, like Sal Mazzaferro, to kind of balance things out and to be those leaders to help them improve when they're in those situations professionally? Yeah,
it is balanced. Nick Sessik's another guy. You have guys who've been playing at that level, but also have experience to share with the young kids. It helps connect, and it's really important to have that balance. But I do think the next years we will start to get younger there. For me, that second team coaching job is one of the hardest jobs in the club. You have different players every single day. The first team's pulling guys from your roster. Training is different every day. You have to be so flexible and adaptable. So that's going to be a challenging job for us to fill, to find the right leader for those young kids, along with mixing in the veteran guys and the young guys together.
Do two more.
Can I have one more? Can I have three?
Go, let's go.
All right. So season ticket renewals went out yesterday. Prices increased in a lot of sections. A lot of fans are, well, not a lot. Some on social media are saying they're canceling because they're tired of this product on the field. As a person responsible for this product on the field, what would you say to those fans?
Yeah, I mean, the conversations with, Garth and I have talked, Demetrius, Skate, we're all kind of communicating on everything. Obviously, as chief soccer officer, my focus is on getting a team that the fans support and love and that can compete. The one thing I would say is that we've been super appreciative. Our fans have been there. Every single game, our fans are there. The atmosphere that they have in Mercedes-Benz is I think one of the best in the league. So I do feel that appreciation. I know our players and coaches do as well. So for us, we want to get a team that this city's proud of, and we're working on it every single day. My focus is on building that team, and we're gonna be active this window, as I spoke about. We're gonna be active in January as well. And, I look at it as like a GPS. When I get in the car and I put in where I'm going to go, my destination, I trust that it's going to get there. And I think that's what we have our plan. We have to stick to our plan. There may be some moves that happen as we make moves that people are like, I'm not sure if I understand that move. But hopefully, as this plan comes together, you'll look and you'll see the replacements or the other moves that we make, and it will start to become clear of, okay, now I see what they're building.
That leads to my next question. Efrain Morales had become a starter, sold. He's pursuing a degree at Georgia Tech, which I know is not y'all's concern, but it kind of rubbed people the wrong way. Was he we have to sell to get this GAM to make other moves?
Yeah, first I would add the Georgia Tech thing is something that was important to us.
Okay.
So Efra and I sat down in January, and he came and said, look, I want to be loaned. I want to be playing games. What can we do to work together? So we started working together. We had many conversations. Really smart kid, been part of this organization. And he said, could you not do anything till May? I have classes that are going to end in May. So after May, can you find something?
Gotcha.
So we have had constant conversations going back and forth. I think this is a great opportunity for him. We obviously are making moves that might affect his playing time again. The value of creating $500,000 in GAM of him, and the opportunity that we can share future sell on with him. So we're all still invested in Efra. And he was happy. He was. I thought the conversation, the ongoing relationship, was really good. So I think he left the club in a really good way and appreciative, and we're rooting him on to have success.
And last one for me. Who represented Atlanta United at the Board of Governors meetings in Austin, and are y'all in favor of the schedule change that Garber has hinted at and others have written about?
Yeah, good question. So Josh Blank was there, Rich McKay, Sarah Kate was there. And yeah, as far as schedule change, I'm not going to comment on
Okay.
that. It's above my head.
All right.
Where do you see
That's
Atlanta?
one, Jose, go ahead.
Okay. Where do you see Atlanta in the next 2 years? What is your vision for Atlanta for the next 2 years?
In the next 2 years, I want us, hopefully we have a trophy, but competing for a trophy in 2 years again. So, I think it's I've been part of teams as a player, been part of teams as front office, where we had either poor stretches or poor years, and the next year we were fantastic. So that is the goal, is to get to where we want to be and where we all expect to be and our fans expect us to be. So we're going to take the steps. We're going to be aggressive in improving where we're at, and we have to be aggressive. Competing for trophies.
Last one, Jason. Playing off of that a little bit, in your time in the league, and especially over the last few years, how have you seen the kinds of players that you have to go get to be successful in this league change?
Yeah, good question. I think what I've noticed in the last 5 years is that players now are wanting to come to MLS from around the world at really good get in their prime ages. And it wasn't like that before. It was, I'm going to play 1 or 2 more years and then I'll go to MLS. And at that point, we don't want, it's not necessarily you want the player unless he's was a top level player globally. So I think you're getting a new group of players that are wanting to come to our league, which is a great thing for our league. And we have to make sure that we are a club that players want to come to. And you look at this building, you look at our stadium, we have everything in place, and now we got to get a winning team that can support those types of players coming.
Thanks, everyone.